to this. Oh, I had something in my throat. What up, y'all? Welcome to the Soapbox Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Legacy, and I'm here with the fam, as you know them, in their glory, looking like they leveled up. What's up? All the way from, let's start with Tallahassee, Florida. All the way from Tallahassee, Florida. What's good, Giovanni? There you go. She got it. She's coming. All right.
You still got her mute. Unmute her.
I unmuted it. I
got it.
You see, I'm just trying to blame me for stuff.
Right.
Hey,
what's up, everybody?
What's good? Loving the hairstyle, drinking the wine, just relaxing, having your day, have it your way. All the way from, I'm just gonna say all the way from up north. We have the lady of the north. What's up, Jesse? What's good?
What's popping? How you doing? I'm over here eating, but I can't eat because you said I can't. But
no, why are you lying? When did I say that? What is it? You see what? Don't let the devil use you. Okay, all the way from Duval County. What's up, Ish?
Hey, how's it going? I'm feeling good, feeling great.
What's good, Ish? Give him a little bicep. For all those who's in quarantine being lazy, go ahead and show what you working with.
Oh, the arms, bro. I'm over here doing some workouts. I'll knock a hoe out. I'm just kidding.
It's over there looking for those who
they look smooth right now.
For those who are listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, any of those streaming services, iHeartRadio. Watch the YouTube clip and you'll see how Ish, The Rock Yakil is has joined us, and all the way from NYC. What's up, my man, Alan York? What's good, man?
Good morning, my people. Good morning. I got a little Cabernet Sauvignon, so I hope y'all feeling good today.
I'm feeling good, feeling blessed, having a great beard day today, even though I haven't had a haircut in about 2 months. So things are going, growing and flush, but we got a lot to talk about. Just want to let everybody know who's watching us. Thank you all for watching us. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you share the Facebook Live. Let your friends know, your mama know, everybody know that the Soapbox Podcast has got you for your pop culture, your news, all that good stuff. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been doing a social justice series called The Movement, Then, Now, Forever. It's been going great. A lot of good feedback I've received about it. This week, we're taking a pause on it. We are going to continue the series, so don't you worry. I want to make sure that the guests that I want to be a part of that are available. And so since everybody and their mama right now is doing live shows on, Zoom and StreamYard and all these other streaming services, we just got to wait and be patient. So I rather measure 1,000 times and cut once, just so that we can bring premium content to you, our listeners, the Soapbox Nation. So for those who are watching us right now on Facebook Live, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for the support. Make sure you share all of our content and all the good stuff, and participate. Right, Jess? We want them to participate. Jess, you're muted.
Yes, please. Send in a comment. We will respond. We're right here looking at everything.
Yes. No, all good. All right, unpopular opinion this week. We got Alan York. What's good, man?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever
Alan,
you
I
all
think you're
watching.
drunk. I think you're drunk. You just put all. He's like, yo, good morning. Fall, winter, spring, summer. Good morning, afternoon, night.
I wish I had enough to be a little slizzer, but unfortunately, this is just my sleepy radio voice. However, my unpopular opinion, and this is actually unpopular with myself. I don't even like half of this opinion. However, some things just need to be done.
Okay.
I myself miss basketball so much. I can't wait till it's back. But I'm also a man of tradition. I'm a man of crowds. I'm a man of structure. And I say, just cancel the season. Just cancel the season. Just get rid of it. Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And it hurts my heart to say this, but I just think about the long-term ramifications, right? And when I say long-term, I'm just talking about the next 6 months to a year, right? We probably won't be able to start the season until July, So from July to August. And depending on what we're going to do there, I don't know if they want to jump straight into the playoffs. If you jump straight into the playoffs, you have teams that were currently making a run before all this happened that weren't able to fulfill their run. You have teams, even if they are in the playoff race, and they may be a couple games back, their whole positioning of what they were doing or what they're trying to do would be cut short because it's a marathon. Normally it's an 82-game season. Additionally speaking, this is a big year for free agency. So we're talking about free agency will be starting generally within June, July, August. We're also talking about the draft as well. So to push all of that back of course I understand it, but I do think that long-term we have to think about, how is free agents going to react to having to make a decision as opposed to June and July? They have to make that decision in possibly August or November. Like, how is that going to translate long-term? I think, part of me really feels like you could just cut your losses now, say the season is done, everyone get ready for the draft, everyone get ready for free agency. Now, yes, there's a huge list of things that even myself will probably oppose to, because that being said, I think that anytime a season is lost due to unfinished business, the free agents, they don't know what to do, because a lot of the free agents, they feel like their decision is based upon if a team is winning or not. So like now you have 12 teams that's like, man, we could have won this year. We could have won this year. We could have won this year. Too bad. COVID doesn't care if y'all think y'all could have won this year. So let's just pull the rope. Just pull the rope.
I disagree.
You're supposed to, and so do I. So cancel the NBA season. Let's get rid of it.
This has something to do with LeBron. Nobody wants LeBron to get his fourth ring.
And LeBron thinks that too.
Everybody hates him. But anyway, listen, thank you for that unpopular opinion. It was definitely unpopular with me, and I'm sure the folks, if you have a comment, we are deep in our chat room live stream today. So look, for those who don't agree with Alan, hey, let them know that you don't agree with him. Post in the chat. We're going to this week, we don't really have that much of a structure. So we're just going to say go. So Giovanni, you ready for a couple quick stories that we should be paying attention to in the news? And we're just going to fire them off. Thank y'all for joining us. I'm very happy. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Sorry, y'all. I'm ready. So first thing first, I guess this is called breaking news. Bow Wow Bow Wow is retiring, and I honestly thought he'd been retired, but it's good to know that he's actually doing it the proper way and making an announcement. So anybody else, is anybody super sad that Bow Wow is leaving the music industry?
Bow Wow, I need to go sit down somewhere. Just what?
Yeah, I feel like he's doing this to draw attention.
Yeah,
no one, like he hasn't had a workout.
He's not Jay-Z or somebody. Bow Wow, man, we thought he was been retired. It's not 2000.
But it's not even that he's not Jay-Z. It's just that he would have been better off just not saying anything. Like, I think Bow Wow's a great artist. Like, Bow
Wow should have stuck with acting. He should have stuck with acting.
Yeah. No. But are we having this conversation if he doesn't make this announcement?
We're having this conversation to make fun of the fact that he had this announcement.
When was his last body of work? Like, what has he done in the last 10 or 15 years?
He did a few hosts. He just did The Masked Singer.
The last relevant.
I mean, as far as his albums.
The last relevant thing Bow Wow did was the Bow Wow challenge, where everybody was making fun of him for lying about the things that he has, and now we're making fun of him now.
And I was referring to, when I said body of work, I meant music. Like, when's the last time he's created an album, an EP, something, a single, any work, a feature?
Last time that Bow Wow put out a project, it was actually May 2019, called Greenlight 6. That Greenlight is his mixtape series. So that was the last time he put out a body of work.
And I'm
you
sure
heard it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did not? Okay.
No.
That CD is holding up somebody's couch right now, making sure it's good and sturdy. Go ahead, Giovanni. Next.
Bow Wow, though. No, wait. Because he he came out with some hits, so don't try to play my man's. Okay.
What's your favorite Bow Wow song?
Well,
look,
no, the way you move, so no, that's not my favorite one, but I like that song. Honestly, my favorite song from him is gonna be something random, but it's Thank You, only because that was a song that came out, and he was like, I used to love him.
When did that song come out?
It was a long time ago, whatever. And he was just like thanking all his fans for like supporting him. And because I loved him so much, like that song made me cry. And like I wrote like down the whole lyrics, and I learned it on the same day that it came out. The next day I knew all the words word for word. Till this day I know the whole song. So but besides that, I mean, I like a lot of Bow Wow's music. I'm not even gonna lie. I like Bow Wow. That's my dog.
Well, who didn't like Bow Wow as teenagers? I'm talking about now as adults. Everyone loved, or mostly everyone loved Bow Wow when we were all younger. 10 years ago, 15.
You had a win, guys. Come on.
I'm disinterested.
We love you, Bow Wow.
Giovanni, go ahead. What's another story we got?
Sorry to change the mood, but if you all are familiar with Shad Gaspard, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yep, the former WWE star. He was found dead earlier Wednesday morning after he went missing over the weekend while swimming with his son in California. Yeah. So his body washed ashore, you know, in Gaspard, and he was only 39 years old. He had been missing since Sunday morning, and yeah, it's just a really tragic death.
That's so sad.
And go ahead.
The lifeguards went to save him, right? And then he was like, "No, like save my son." And then save his son. And then by the time they got to him, he was missing.
Yeah, Big Shad was, as you guys know, y'all know I'm a wrestling fan. So Big Shad was part of the tag team called Crime Time, where he talked about getting that money, get that money, all that good stuff. But yo, he was a good tag team. Super good dude. When Kofi Kingston, who won the WWE Championship after like about 11 years, you know, Shad was there with MVP, you know, tearing up or whatever. Good dude, industry dude that also was a bodyguard as well. So, you know, The Rock to a lot of different celebrities, they have wished that, you know, their condolences. WWE did a tribute. So, you know, for anybody that talks about Black fathers, as far as like, you know, there are good dudes out there, and this dude definitely put out that he was, you know, there to save his son. For him to do that, that was a heroic tale, you know, definitely heroic. So, shout out to this brother, somebody from my childhood, that another wrestler that has passed. So, you know, shout out to him. All right, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And it's sad. I was actually when he died, I wanted to see like what was like the average rate of like WWE wrestlers. And a lot of them, they don't die from like natural causes. I did see some heart attacks, but a lot of them drug overdose, apparent suicide, drug overdose, shot, head injury, pneumonia. Well, that's natural, but motorcycle accident, shot by police, suicide, head injury in match, you know, and I was just like, wow, plane crash. It was just like, oh my gosh, you know, is this one of those things where the career you're in sometimes ties a role into some conspiracy?
The way you go? I think it's more so like, yo, you know, death doesn't discriminate, and it don't matter when it's your time to go. It's your time to go. And I just think, you know, going back to Shad, you know, for him to, like Jess said, for him to say, yo, to take care of his son as a father, to say, yo, make sure my kids are okay. And he was, you know, because they could have saved Shad, you know, was what, you know, people were saying, but then his son would have passed away. So he basically gave his life for his kids. So, you know, we commend him for that. What's the next one, Giovanni?
The next one, Chad Johnson. He left a big tip. Guess the price.
I know the story, so go ahead. What do y'all think?
$1,000.
Jess read the story. Goddamn.
I swear I did.
She's cheating. Jess is a cheater. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep, it was $1,000. And you know, I mean, at a time like this, people do need it. But I have two questions. What do you think if was his true intentions genuine? And two, what was the biggest tip you have ever left someone?
Wait,
so who wants to start?
He tipped on what?
He tipped at a restaurant. His bill was only $34 and he left $1,000 tip.
Wow, well, he was just trying to bless somebody. I wish somebody would tip me that. The most I've ever tipped was like $20-something. I wish I could
Same
tip
here.
You know,
Yeah.
You have to tell your manager, like, hey, somebody just left me $1,000 because I'm just trying to figure out how did it even become a story.
Nope.
You got to close out at the end of the night. So you got to, everybody needs to know.
Even if it's a cash tip?
No, it was on his card. He left it on his card.
Oh, then you do have to tell.
Yeah, so they got, when they can't, please, if it's a cash tip, ain't nobody, it's just me and Chad now. But, you know.
You got to split it with everybody.
No.
Yeah, some places you do.
I would say, I would go back and say, oh, Mr. Johnson, do you mind going to the bank around the corner so that you can get me this $1,000? Like, I understand it could be, I would sound such like a slave. I would sound like a beaten slave, like, Mr. Johnson, please. My eyes be bucking and everything. Mr. Johnson, please. I just, you know, they're going to take this money from me. And I, you know. But, yo, shout out to him. I actually like it. It's genuine because the dude, he didn't post it. And that's the best thing. Like, I'm glad that somebody else decided to post it, and that's how the story got out. So, you know, that shows someone being actually genuine with a good deed. You see
TJ, do you leave big tips?
Depends on the service. It's subjective, but I do. I'm not opposed to it. If your service is crap, I will leave you nothing. And I know that's unpopular to probably say, but no one's entitled to my hard-earned money, especially if my experience is not on par. But I tend to leave on a regular basis, 20%. But if I think you're excellent, yeah, I'll leave you a big tip.
What about ladies? Do you know sometimes when you go to a nail shop and then all of a sudden it seems like the price went up? And so in my mind, I'm always thinking like, are you automatically including your tip in what I'm paying for? Because I was gonna tip you, but if you already including the extra $5, you trying to get double tips.
That's like me, yo. Delivery.
If you do like a bomb ass job on my nails, I don't care how much it is, I'm gonna tip you. But if you do like a mediocre job, I'll still tip you, but I won't tip you as much. But I'm gonna tip you just because like you took your time out to do it, even though you did a shitty ass job. But I know what you're saying because like sometimes I go to the nail salon and it's like $25 to do a full set, and then other times it's like almost $50, and I'm like, when did your price jump up that high? Like, relax.
Exactly.
Yo, I don't know why I pictured Jess when she leaves a tip, she be folding it up. She be folding a little $5 up, like, hey,
don't play me. I'm actually an expert. Don't play me.
Just be like whisper, but just be like, look, this is for you. Okay?
Yeah. Got a tip. It's important.
Go ahead, Giovanni. Next story.
That's all for me. It looked like Alan was trying to say something.
Oh, Alan, what's up, man?
No, I was just I echo you guys' sentiments. This is actually with Chad. This is something that I've heard him doing a couple of times before the pandemic. He's kind of notorious of being a real generous tipper. So shout out to him, man. You know, receive a blessing, give a blessing.
Yeah, if you got it. Yep, I like that. Pay it forward. Yeah.
I would have took off work for a week.
Jess, we're not in class. This is disorderly. Everybody's just going on and talking.
All right, my bad. I just want to say something about paying it forward. Here in Brockton, something that's been going on, I actually put it on one of my posts the other day, is that people are like, for example, I went to Starbucks the other day, and the person in front of me paid for my meal, and then we paid for like the 4 people behind us. So that's been happening like everywhere I go. Like, so like if I go to Taco Bell, it's the same thing. Like the people in front of us is paying for us. So like, you know, if you have the opportunity to do that, you should do it because it really makes people feel really good. I'm just saying, you know.
Wait, somebody is paying for your meal?
They're paying for whoever's behind them. Don't go there. I already see what you did.
No.
Giovanni, next story.
I dated a person who thought that was cheating, and I got in trouble for that. A woman paid for my meal at work, and I got chewed out because she told me, she was like, oh, so she's just gonna pay for your meal? I was like,
okay, yeah, TJ. It's a little bit different than you being in a drive-through and not knowing who the people are behind you. And
so it's gonna be anonymous?
Yes.
Usually the story that Jess is talking about, that's how it works. It's not some coworker who low-key might have some feelings for you. It's not that type of story.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Ish. Appreciate you.
I got you, girl.
Is that it?
No, but just that conversation
actually targeted by this guy was racially targeted by this guy by this white supremacist basically, and who then called the cops on the black guys who were the FedEx driver. They ended up getting fired by FedEx, and so that insinuated a whole hashtag boycott FedEx to the point where it was probably in the top 3 trending topics this week. So it's been trending. So now FedEx had to respond, and they're saying they're giving the guys their job back while they're doing an investigation. Here's my problem with that, right? You have this issue with these white supremacists, but you didn't investigate it before you fired them. And they were mad that the guys posted the video. So had the guys never posted the video, they would have just lost their job and had no backing. And the fact that people have to be outraged in order for them to still have their job just shows you what the black experience is like in this country. And so, shame on FedEx. I hope that they start losing some more. So anybody boycott FedEx if you're using FedEx. If you use FedEx regularly, go to UPS. Your package may still be damaged a little bit, but go to UPS, go to the Postal Service, because we can't allow people to continue to racially terrorize folks in our community. And here's what we're not seeing with the Karens and with all these other dicks out there. We'll call the white men dicks that are racially terrorizing folks. No one is being punished. Notice how no one is being punished. They're allowed to just, spaz out, spew all sorts of racial rhetoric and epithets to everyone, and then no one's actually being punished. So there's no laws of protection, nothing for Black Americans in this country. And then when you react or you start whooping some ass because you feel like you're being threatened, then they want to call the cops and weaponize the police in order to try to get some justice or for them to play the victim. So I definitely wanted to just touch on that. It's not really a topic of like questions, but I'll go around the horn if y'all have any thoughts on that.
Yeah,
Alan?
I think especially what I've the really disturbing one, just to start with the first ones where we have the ladies coughing on people and things of that nature. I mean, I've actually read a story that that has actually led to something before. When the first time coronavirus came out, there was someone who went and she was pretty angry that she wasn't getting her way, and she was coughing on people, and someone ended up catching it like that. There's actually a term in regards to that. It's called bioterrorism. Bioterrorism is terrorism involving the intentional release or dissemination of biological agents. And I think this falls under that umbrella. So even if you know you don't have it, or you don't have it, but your intention is foul, and I think that for sure is something that is easily able to be. The repercussions for that is something that's easily able to be implemented if we want to take shit like this seriously. So I thought that was disgusting. Yeah. There was actually another video that I saw where someone made a wrong turn somewhere in Georgia, and there was this lady screaming at the top of her lungs because the gentleman was just trying to get out the driveway. He made a wrong turn. She was calling the cops and she was calling security at the top of her lungs, saying that this gentleman was trying to run her over with the car, screaming, wailing. And the gentleman is on the phone just recording it, and he's not moving anywhere. And so I think about how situations like that could get escalated so easily, because the way that she was screaming, I'm sure multiple cop cars came, and they didn't come lightly. She was screaming like she just got murdered. And like you said,
it's the Emmett Till.
And like you said, things like this, and I understand maybe the FedEx case is a little bit muddy, especially anytime that you're dealing with somebody's property. because essentially laws are created to protect landowners and land. But once you have people making false 911 calls, false statements, even in the heat of the moment, we have to hold those people accountable. And they also have to be made an example of, like we're made an example of when something happens within our community and we have these white judges and these prosecutors and these DAs wanna use our face and our likeness as an example. We have to, those things have to happen to other people too, because we have to let them know that it's not okay.
Yeah, I agree, man. But in this situation with the FedEx dude, with the FedEx truck drivers, the fact that Black Americans in this country who are essential workers are not protected. We're already not protected under the law as is. White Americans can use the police force to weaponize the police force at any call. That's why they keep calling the police, because they know more than likely when the police show up, they're not going to be the ones who are targeted. So, companies, all companies should have a policy where you should back up your employees, right? And so for this company, for FedEx, to not even do a thorough investigation, to just ultimately fire these guys off of the word of one racist, right? And be mad because they posted the video off of their experience, shows you how FedEx has been sued for racial discrimination before in the past. So for them to say, "Oh, we're going to allow you to work until we do a thorough investigation," well, why would you want to work for a place that condones these white supremacist actions and that you didn't back me up as your employer when you're out there during a pandemic delivering packages in Providence? So I say this to say this. When these companies during this pandemic, there's a reason why all the rich folks want all the poor people to go back to the workforce. That's why they're trying to open up this country. So you got to be, you got to open our eyes and realize, your health is not worth the $9, $10, $12 that these people are paying you per hour, because when push comes to shove and you're being racially targeted, or it's your issues when it comes to social justice, or you're being harmed, or anything that goes on with you and your family, they're not going to actually have your back. You're a spoke on the wheel. And so you need to understand that. And I hope that these guys, I don't know if there's any labor lawyers in Georgia that can help these guys, but I hope that there's an actual employer that can help these guys out, and hopefully, it works out for them. But boycott FedEx has been trending for a little while. Anybody else have any thoughts?
That's it. That's all I say. I said what I said.
What'd you say?
I said we boycotting them bitches. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Word. All right. So next topic, as we just kind of going with the flow. Next topic, just say. She's like I called on you from the back of the class, which means you was paying attention. Yo, what's going on with Future and Russell Wilson? This should be a good one.
Listen, Future and Russell Wilson. All right, for you guys who don't know, Russell Wilson is a football player who is now married. Right, they're married. I think they're married. Right, they're married.
They are, yeah.
Okay. To singer and dancer and bomb ass queen Ciara. Future, who is a rapper. Maybe you guys know him.
Wait, what did you say? Ciara who? What is she?
I'm not repeating that.
Okay. I'll rewind it. I'll play that.
Future was dating Ciara, and they had a baby together. Future, that was the name of the baby. That's so cute. I like that name actually. But anyways, Russell Wilson is now with Ciara, and they're in love. Obviously, they're married. They had a child. I think they're about to have another one, and they're happy. And Russell Wilson, he's the stepfather, but he plays the role of daddy. And for people who are in that situation, it varies. I had a stepfather and I couldn't stand him. And I wish when my mom did decide to get a stepfather, whatever, we're not gonna talk about that right now. But the point is, Future's birthday just came, and they both wrote posts for
Little Future,
yes. Mm-hmm. So Russell Wilson wrote, or he tweeted, my inspiration, my best friend, full of love, joy, and grace. I thank Jesus for you and being able to lead and guide you. Your future is forever endless, and I pray you swim into every opportunity and obstacle in life with this much love and enthusiasm. Happy 6th birthday, Future. Daddy loves you. Mind you, this was Russell Wilson who wrote this, the stepfather of Little Future.
What did Future say? It must have been
Future. Oh, Future, or not Little Future said, he tweeted, "Happy birthday, Future," capital letters. "Love you forever," capital letters, twin. And that's what he tweeted.
There was one more message after that, just
yes. So then afterwards, this became like a trending topic. People were like, "Oh my gosh, like Russell Wilson is calling him, saying that he's daddy, and he wrote all of this, and Future only wrote that." So I guess Future felt some type of way, or he did it, whatever. But he put on his Insta story later on. He said, "It's your day, twin. More life, more love, and blessings. Stay true to yourself. Always put God first. Big 6." Now, first of all, I don't know why people are making this a big deal. Like people take social media too serious. Relax. You don't know what the relationship is outside of social media. Some people express themselves differently. You don't know how close Future is with Little Future. Russell Wilson, obviously, he's more like out there emotionally. I mean, that's how I see it. Like him and Ciara, they be doing cute little videos that I didn't really see Ciara do with Future. But everybody's different. I feel like people take social media too seriously. Like, who cares who wrote what? Yes, what Russell Wilson wrote was really nice, and you can tell that he loves him. That's a positive thing. Like, why make this a negative thing? Like, shut up. People are so damn annoying. I just can't stand it. What do you guys think? Do you guys think, like, that it was messed up that all Future wrote was this one sentence while Russell Wilson went into depth about how he felt about Little Future?
I'm gonna let y'all go first.
Yeah, so I read the post as well. So for me, Russell Wilson's post obviously shows that he's, in my opinion, more in the house. He's actually speaking from a father who watches his child and just learns how that child influences him to be a better man. Like with my daughter, for example, I'll look at her and like her kindness or her continued love, or just saying things positive inspires me to be better. So when I read Russell Wilson's post, I was just like, okay, he seems like a father who's really active, who really gets it, like a real parent. And to your point, Jess, for Future, we don't know. Like Russell Wilson and Future could be those things. Wilson just expresses it. He expressed it publicly. Whereas with Future, we don't know the relationship. So he could have that same relationship with his biological son and just not be that type of nigga, basically, who expresses himself in the way that Russell Wilson does. However, the message does read more like a family member that you love. Like, you my boy, you my homie, you my girl. I love you. Many blessings. I wish you many, many more years. It's said just like out of love, but it could be for anybody. Like, it's not necessarily from the position of a parent who's watching a child. You're loving how they're growing. You're loving how they're influencing you as a human to be better, to be on your shit, to get stuff done. It just reads different. But again, to your point, Jess, I do agree that we don't know their personal relationship and what type of, the way that Future expresses himself. Like, some men they aren't good with that, like, just quite frankly. And we know that. We know men aren't good with expressing them. Not all men. We know some men are not very good with expressing themselves eloquently, verbally, or physically. You know what I'm saying? So you just really don't know. The messages do read different.
Well, let me ask
you. Maybe he will make up a song with, a deeper message like he did for Lori. Who knows?
The benefit, though, is that people are missing is that this beautiful, beautiful Black son of ours, but theirs for real, but in the community is what I'm thinking. But he has 2 fathers. Some of us out here has 0. You know what I'm saying? So he's really blessed, and people are making a big deal about him being loved by 2 men. Like, it's absurd for them to even be trying to create like some type of competition between these men, when in reality, the young boy is being loved by his stepfather and his actual father, to our knowledge. And that's the beauty in the story, is that there's a Black boy who's getting love from a man, 2 at that. And it's a lot of us who didn't, and it's a lot of Black boys who don't know who the F their father is. So why are we putting men at odds when we really should be looking at the beauty of them trying to come together and raise a Black male to be a good guy in this society. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Niggas can't win. Like, we always putting each other against each other.
Go ahead, TJ. What you got to say now?
I just have a question at first. I just wanted to pose this question. If you guys have stepfathers, right? If your kid has a stepfather, would you allow your kid to call the stepfather dad?
I've said dad too for my daughter. I was like, you'll have a dad too, because her dad is present though. So, well, I guess if future's present, it's the same.
But
thing,
would
right?
it be? I'm asking, would it be a requirement, or how would you handle it?
No, it's not a requirement. It's how your child feels. If your child feels they love their stepfather so much that they need to call them dad, that's your child. That's how your child feels. But I'm not going to tell my child, this is who I'm with. We're going to get married. You have to call him dad. Hell no. Hell to the no.
All right.
Especially if the father is present. It's not a requirement.
It's a two-part question. So would you, if your child wants to call the biological father, the stepfather dad, would you consult with the biological father first?
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, I would. And to your point, TJ, I would
I haven't made my point yet. I'm just asking questions.
Well, to answer your question, I would consult with my daughter's biological father. The other thing is, for me, just as a mom, because I know I'm not gonna be cool with her calling somebody else mom. Like, so for me, and I haven't grown. I will put that out there. I haven't been in a situation, so I don't know how things can change in the future as feelings get involved and love is involved. But right now, I do think that there will be a distinction between the biological parents. If we're all present and we're all doing our jobs and we're all there showing love, I think there should be, whatever the names are, I don't care what the names are, whatever we think of, but a distinction between like me, mom, and like daddy's wife, mom. You know what I'm saying? When that happens, or vice versa, like my husband dad versus your biological dad, like how can you differentiate between, and unless everyone's okay with like her, like my daughter, if I'm okay with my daughter calling her mom, like if I grow and it changes, then cool. Or if her biological dad is cool with her calling my husband dad, then cool. But outside of that, I think there will be distinctions for my family.
For sure.
I agree.
All right. I understand that there are going to be some hurt feelings.
Well, my child better not call nobody mom. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you got to think about the dad too, like how he might feel in the same situation.
Right.
If my son only seeing you one time a week, I mean, or once a month, he might start calling somebody else daddy.
That's facts.
Well, if the biological father obviously isn't doing his job or being present, that will change the scenario and how your son responds to your husband.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Future not doing his job, because I mean, honestly, sometimes it's hard to choose between what lifestyle you really want to have, and a lot of times you can't have both. Like Sierra was just blessed to have a freaking soft dude like Russell Wilson that happened to be rich and play football, but it's not too many dudes that's like that expressive and rich and play football. Like, it just don't even make sense. Like, huh? But I mean, she got lucky. So, if whoever is lucky enough to have that. But to me, like most dudes will say like, oh, he like dudes don't act like that. Dudes who act like that are soft. But of course we know like not soft, but y'all know what I mean. Like,
I love men. I will put out there. I love men.
But
I love men like Russell Wilson, baby. I don't think you soft. Yeah, but I don't think they're soft. Like, I actually talk to a lot of men about their emotions, and I feel like that's one of the reasons, like not referencing things like you're soft or you a bitch ass nigga or anything.
Yeah, that's what they like
that liking. Right, but it steers them away. Like when you do that, because soft has a negative connotation for men, like when they're called soft. Like I had said something to my brother one time, just talking off the top of my head, and I was like, you're so emotional. I was like, y'all cancers are so emotional, and that made him upset. Yeah. That I was like, cancers are so emotional and so I've never said that again, like anything about his feelings, because I want him to continue to be expressive of his feelings.
Yeah, and Future probably is like, no, I'm not finna go out like that. Like, what's up? Happy birthday to my son. You did.
He's hardened. Yeah, because he ain't finna look soft, like to your point, to the community that he's worried about instead of his son.
But then that would have showed everybody a different side of him. Like, what's wrong with that? But like you said, everybody expresses themselves differently.
And he could have been on Percocet and what he said,
Miley.
Alan, do you have anything to chime in and add before I get started on the subject matter? I'm speaking of my low tones. Huh?
Two things. First off, it's none of our business what goes on in their household. I really hate that this has become a social media talking point every other week. I really despise it. None of us know what's going on in their household. No one knows what's going on with the dynamics between those relationships. No one knows what's going on between these three people. And the fact that everybody feels the need to have this conversation every time Russell Wilson shows his face with Ciara and the baby, I'm sick of it. Like,
but the thing is, you can't be sick of it because that's the whole point.
They put it out there for public consumption.
Yeah, like they didn't even have to post that it was his birthday or say anything about it. So if you, with 1 million followers, if you're inviting people into your life to talk about this stuff, they want it to be talked about. That's how I
agree. No, I definitely agree that it's part of the game as being a celebrity. I don't agree that it's part of what I need to care about though. I think you should love your son or love your stepson. You should be able to love them outwardly. I don't think that requires our opinion on it. And two, but just in general, in a general sense, I think that once you have to understand that as a parent, once you guys make that conscious decision that you're not going to be together, you have to understand that you're relinquishing so much with relationships between the world, everyone in the world, and who you've created. So you have to understand that your child is going to have relationships with other people. You also have to understand that if you're not in that child's life every day, there is going to be a lot of things that you cannot control. That's a decision that is ultimately made when you decide not to be with the other person that you made this child with. So it's part of the game. And I think that's the broader point that I have. That's it.
Listen, man, Russell Wilson, first of all, y'all alluded to it, and we talked about this with the Chad Johnson situation, right? Chad Johnson didn't post his receipt. Somebody else posted it, and that's how it became a trending topic. So to Alan's point, you're right, or to Giovanni's point, they're posting this thing because they know it's going to create a buzz and keep them trending. It's about it. Yeah, excuse me,
they're posting it to show love.
You had your turn. I waited patiently, ma'am. You had your turn, please. Okay, I waited patiently to hear you in your soliloquy with your lovey-dovey.
Go ahead.
Okay, Baby Future don't have a Twitter account or an Instagram. He don't. So you posting all this love letter BS about, happy, my God. He's putting on. And this is why it's not that Russell Wilson is a great dad, right? Or a great stepfather to Baby Future. It's not that. It's the extras he puts on it. And Giovanni alluded to that. It's that soft, like, extra trying to prove to the world that you're this ultra good man. This story with you and Ciara is the hood rat Cinderella story. Right. That Tyler Perry has written so many times that girls could sit there and use as this barometer to say, you know what, girl, you could be like Ciara. You don't need this, man. Listen, the reality is Ciara had a baby with Future and decided to be the fourth baby mama. She made that choice. Okay, she knew who he was prior to, because he did what he's doing with her to the 3 other baby moms. So that was a choice that she made. Her getting Russell Wilson, I have my opinions about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson could be a good dude, but he's also a super simp. And at this point, anybody who discounts that fact or doesn't think Russell Wilson is a super simp, is just lying to yourselves. Russell Wilson,
What?
he's a super simp, right? And
I never heard of that.
this is a dude who, like Jess said, and I'm gonna use Jess's words.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a father, but you gotta play stepdaddy. Okay, he's like, you have to put on and play. And so for him to be, you can be a great dad and do all this stuff, but all the whole, oh, we gonna be in matching outfits, we gonna do all the naked photos and with you and the baby and him wearing your jersey and stuff, and you put it on social media. Russell Wilson creates this stuff because he's out to prove, because he's extremely insecure, because he knows the woman he's fucking with. He knows where her heart truly lies, that he ain't really her type. Mm-hmm. So he gotta put on. This is what they don't tell you in the relationships, and that's why I'm here. He's putting on for her. It ain't about that. He wants people to be trending and talking about how good of a man he is, so that if she was to ever leave, they would say, Ciara, you're so stupid. How could you leave that good man? Look at all the things that he did. Any real man who's really playing ain't got to flash his money and flash how good of a dad he is and all that stuff. You just are. You just are. You don't have to be out there putting on for nobody. Like you the stepdad. And listen, I'm speaking from experience. I was a person who did play the stepfather role in a relationship. Okay. And so in that situation, I'm not opposed to dating or even marrying a woman who has kids. Not at all. But I've always stated in the beginning, if I am going to be in a relationship with you, and you have children, yes, I'm a stepfather, but I'm not going to treat them any differently from the kids that we actually have. You see what I'm saying? It's not a requirement for nobody to call me dad or any of those type of things. However, this is my child. And as a person who's getting into that relationship with a woman who has a child, as a man, you're supposed to step to the biological father, if he's around, and be like, yo, hey, my G, this is how things are gonna go. Bump all the whole, if he talking greasy out his mouth, yada, 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 that stuff, y'all got to figure that out as men. But all this back and forth about who loves him more and it ain't coming from Future.
Oh, exactly. That's coming from the audience. You don't know if they had a conversation.
It's coming from Russell Wilson because
you don't know if Russell and Future already had a conversation.
He's putting logs on the fire, and he hasn't. He's putting logs on the fire. He's putting on because he wants this fairy tale of how he is this perfectly good man. Ciara ain't really, he was a fan of Ciara, right? This has been publicly known. He was a fan. He was a simp. He was out there like, oh my God, and she wasn't giving him the time of the day. She settled. Let's be real. She settled because he's financially secure, right? He adores her. He's going to pamper her. You see what I'm saying?
No, Ciara didn't have to settle. Ciara could probably have whoever she wants.
Bow Wow.
She didn't
have Bow Wow. That's who Ciara can have, is Bow Wow. And I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to argue with folks. I know this. I know this hurts. But anyway, I think Russell Wilson puts on too much because he's trying to feed into this ego of trying to be this perfectly super dad, because it just screams out insecurity. If you're doing your job as a man, you don't need no big pat on the back or whatever, or you don't need to be obviously doing this extra stuff to prove that, oh my God, God bless you, son. But who are you talking to? Did you pull Little Future to your Instagram account and say, look what I read to you? Because I'm pretty sure that nigga was like, yo, just give me these Cheerios and let me go play, because I ain't got time for none of this stuff.
So you're gonna act like you never posted, or maybe someone close to you never posted a post for like someone that they love who does not have an Instagram or Twitter or whatever account? Come on, everybody does it. How many times I posted personally a message to my kids? What are you trying to say?
Did you show them?
Yeah, no, not yet, but they'll see it one day.
not yet.
I don't know. I just think that I think the situation is just
corny. He's just corny. Giovanni knows it. Giovanni's like, look, I would allow, if Russell Wilson was a regular dude, he'd be the dude that you call so that when you hungry, he'd be.
Nah, y'all crazy. I'm gonna have to step in on that. Y'all crazy. That's why women are gonna end up with men who beat their ass and do stupid stuff and cheat on them because of what you're saying. I will choose a Russell Wilson and not think he's soft. That is a good man, and he can be showboat and whatever. And to Justin's point, I've posted many things about my daughter, and she's not on Instagram or Facebook, and she won't.
So you're what? It's your, but it's
because
your
I love her. Because I love her. Yeah,
kid.
And he could feel you could really love someone else's child as your own. To your point, that's the goal. So he really could love his son in his eyes and want to share that with the world. Like, hey, people do that. People are on social media posting whatever they want about their grandma and whoever else who are not on social media. And it's for
public consumption.
Whatever it's for, it can still be sincere. It doesn't mean that he's trying to like outdo Future.
I believe he's sincerely a simp.
I think that I think the main issue, especially just like I said, just the whole umbrella is people have everybody's idea of what love and appreciation looks like is different. And the issue is when people see someone expressing love in a way that they're not familiar with or they wouldn't go about, they automatically start projecting why that's happening as opposed to just being like, okay, well, that's just how that person shows love. Just because a person shows love in an expressive and an outward way, and it's different from what you would do, it doesn't make them.
But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong for trying to express his love. It's all the extra naked photos and trying to put on, and she does it too. And it's because
but that's all that is how they express themselves.
No, it's not. You gotta understand.
Bro, you're telling this man what's in his heart.
No, I'm not. What I'm telling is it's a part of their branding. He's trying to brand himself as this.
That's your assumption.
Exactly.
It's the truth. I know y'all don't want to hear it.
Why can't he just be a good man? Why can't it be the truth that he's a good man?
And this is why these conversations make no sense, because we're talking about people we don't know and projecting what we're saying about. We're trying to psychoanalyze them based on their Instagram account.
Hey, he was on my fantasy team. I do know him. And I know his contract. So,
all right.
So
Alan, we hear you.
So sir, you take that back. I know Russell.
Oh, right past that stuff.
I could look up Russell Wilson's stats right now on Madden, and I know who he's dating, and I could be on. So they put this up. Look, when people put things out there, even us, when we put things out there, it's up for public consumption. It's what we do. We talking about it and whatever. And so, I'm pretty sure. But they like to have this conversation and do the comparison. You don't think Ciara loves this? Y'all don't think Ciara loves the fact that she used to be with Future and how Future people dog Future out for not being a good dad, but then praise Russell Wilson for being a good man? You don't think it's a part of their branding?
We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah, to Alan's point, we don't know.
We do know it's the social media. That's why they post everything on their social. That's why they posting everything on their social media.
You say Russell Wilson's contract. He don't need no extra juice on this little internet thing. He's set for a very long time.
Oh, we know Ciara could have wrote it.
Not when she. Thank you, Giovanni. Giovanni got some sense. You know what? I think it's the new haircut. Bless you, Giovanni. I think you had sense before, but you extra wise today. You extra wise. Extra wise. Listen, look. The last thing I'm gonna say about it is when Ciara ultimately leaves Russell Wilson for a dude who's hood, I just want everybody to revert back to this episode, because that's what's gonna happen. She is going to ultimately leave him. It's just a matter of time, and then she's gonna go and date the dude who she's usually used to dating. She literally made a song talking about I can't leave them thug dudes alone. All right. Russell Wilson
Maybe she grew from that. Maybe she.
No, she didn't. That's the fairy tale. He is the exception he is an exception. He's not the rule. Okay. He's an exception.
Bow Wow is not a thug dude, and they were together for a very long time.
But he played that role. He played that role.
Bow Wow never played a role of any thug that anyone could leave alone.
And Ciara is not this wholesome woman, godly, that he's trying to see. That's the fantasy that they're like. You know why people like Ciara? Because they like to feel like I can be as irresponsible as possible with my choices of partners and then still be able to be whisked away by some super simp that's going to make me live happily ever after. That's the fantasy that it's being portrayed. And that's why people will be ride or die with Russell Wilson and Ciara. That's the reason.
Are you trying to point fingers at us? I'm just kidding.
Who, me? No. Tyler Perry makes movies about this all the time, so it's literally a genre. They're a walking, living genre. But anyway, that's them. Yeah, I got you. Who's next? Who we got? What's the next topic? I'm out of wits. I think it's Ish. That's you, Ish?
All right, so I'm next. Lori Loughlin. Okay, Lori Loughlin from Full House and her husband, they have agreed to plead guilty in a college admission scam case. They were accused of paying $500,000 to get their daughters into the University of Southern California as rowers, and neither of the daughters were even athletes. So she'll have to pay right now. She's been sentenced to serve 2 months in prison and pay $150 in a fine, plus a few other things. And then her $150,000.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And her husband, a fashion designer, he's been sentenced to 5 months in prison, and he'll have to pay a $250,000 fine. So the thing is, life is not fair, is what some people will say, and then others will say we need to make it fair. Where do you guys stand on this story as far as rich parents paying for their kids to either, like, there was another story about a parent paying a test proctor, to correct her child's answers so that they could get a higher score to be admitted into a university. These parents who have power through money, where do you guys stand on this? Because I think it's funny, and since I'm going, parents do a lot of things to look out for their children. So it's not crazy in the sense of like some parents will kill for their child and sit right in jail defending their child and be perfectly fine. So it's not outrageous that parents are doing everything in their power to help or protect their child. The question really is how fair is that when you're not able to compete with those type of parents? Because it's not crazy that they're doing it. It's just the fairness. What do we think about that part?
It's not fair at all. It's privilege. They have money, others don't. So they feel like they can get away with certain things because they have money. And, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, why are they paying for their kids to do? Your kid didn't do well in school. They didn't do well in school. They're not a school person. Let it go. Maybe they have a different talent. For example, like in high school, I did sports and, my GPA wasn't the greatest. So I had to go to a community college. You think my parents was going to pay for me to go to a university if I couldn't even make it in high school? That don't make no sense. But they do. I feel like the parents are selfish in a way. They're doing it for them. They're doing it for their image. I don't know. It's privilege. At the end of the day, it's privilege. You have money, so you feel like you can get away with it, or you can get away with it, and other people can't. You don't have the money, you can't do that.
It's definitely privilege, and it's also not smart. If I was the kid, I would rather just have the money you're gonna pay for tuition, so I could go start a business with whatever celebrity status that my parents have anyway. So that doesn't make any sense. But ultimately, it's privilege because I saw these Atlanta teachers who were trying to get the students better test grades, or they cheated on a test or whatever. They got longer sentences. And you also have parents who changed their address to give Black parents who changed their address to give their students to give their child a better education. They get locked up for years. So they're going to go ahead and pay the fine, which is chump change to them, because they'll write a book or have a movie deal about how tough it was and how sorry they did, and they'll make that on a parent's fee. And then they're going to go on living their rich, privileged white lives, and it's going to be a bump on the road. And I'm pretty sure she'll have some sort of reality show deal or whatever, that Aunt Becky went to jail, and she'll make fun of the fact that she went to jail, and everybody will have a good laugh, and then things will just keep going back to normal, and that's what it is. Sorry, I just
so bad. It makes me feel bad. This is how I know I've had a tad bit of privilege in the world, because I think this story is hilarious. Although I agree that everyone should have a fair chance at entering the universities. To me, it's life. Like, nigga, ain't nothing gonna be fair. We can argue all day about trying to have equal this and fair this. We can keep the fight. But when it comes to certain things like this, like paying for your child to get into schools or paying for your son or nepotism at workplaces, different things like that, the rich and the powerful, if you can do it, people are gonna bend. I mean, how much responsibility do the universities have in this? Do they really not know? Or the proctor who sat there and changed the scores? That's crazy. You know, if you have people who are going to help you cheat, basically, then it's always going to happen. And if there aren't real consequences, like to your point, TJ, for the rich and powerful, and no one's respecting, you know, integrity, then who's gonna take the rules serious?
Maybe that's how they got in their position at the university, so they're cool with it. So I mean, we gotta. This is a farm system for the rich and for white elites. This is something that they're the ones that just got caught. This is going on across the country, and you think it's the white elites, but this happens in corporate America all the time, and it doesn't necessarily have to be nepotism. This is just what it is. Like, you can have the same credentials, if not better, but you'll get passed over because of whether it's race and privilege. And so this is just you know, another example. It's just out there on the surface. So it's not deterring anything, because as we talked about within our social justice conversation, in order for something to stop, there has to be a major deterrent. 2 months and then it's fine is not a major deterrent to stop anybody to do it. Locking someone up like they did those black parents for years and years and years, you know, it just shows you the gap. And this is a part of the wealth gap and the education gap, because they're hell bent on giving themselves an upper hand and an advantage. Now imagine you busting your behind to get good scores, to go to an institution, only for your parents to pay, and I'm sitting next to you in class, and we're gonna have the same degree, and I'm busting my butt actually studying, and you just gonna get handed this degree, and you're probably gonna have a better job, if not be my boss. Ain't that some shit? And that's why I encourage everybody to just start your own shit. Start a soapbox. Get people to yell at you once a week. That's what I say. Anybody else?
I had a little bit of privilege in college.
You did? Someone wrote? Are you a dean's daughter or something at Howard?
No, I'm not. Well, that was the other one point I was going to make, is that it's not always with the rich and poor. Like, I know people, I shouldn't be saying this, but test scores have been waived so they could enter. There's a professor
on this podcast.
I know. So you're right. I will not incriminate myself. I didn't say me for that, by the way. I said some people.
Oh, look at you doing what Jordan was doing. Y'all watch that Last Dance documentary?
No, Alan, my scores were valid for entering college. I do very well academically.
Of course.
Yo, Jordan was doing some dry snitch. He was like, yo, it wasn't me, but you know, all them other places in there with cocaine and hookers.
No, baby, I test well. It wasn't me. I test well. Academics is one of my strong suits. Let me just get that out right now.
I don't. I'm a good writer, and I run my mouth, and so I've tried to make a career out of that. I'm not a great test taker. I get anxiety, so it is what it is. So, but yo, you got another story before we wrap up? Did you have another one, Ish?
No, this is the one that I prepared for.
Oh, I thought we had another one. Or am I mistaken, y'all?
I got one.
Am I mistaken?
Hey.
The Virginia family.
Wasn't I supposed to cover this Virginia one instead of one?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, so basically, pretty much, I'll just get to the nitty-gritty of it. In Virginia, there was a family who was driving, and I believe they went to swerve to avoid hitting a bag. So when they got out the car, a few feet away, they noticed that there was another bag. So they took the bag and they put it in their car. Like, who does that? But okay, they did it. They put it in the car. When they got home, they went to go throw the bag in the trash, and they noticed that there was $1 million in the bag. They went and they returned the bag to authorities. It was almost $1 million in the middle of the road. God said, "Here you are," and they told the police about it. Now, first of all, a lot of things about this story is a little iffy to me. It's like, okay, why would you pick up a bag? I mean, everybody's different, but why would you pick up a bag and put it in your car to bring it home to go throw it in the trash? That's weird. And then you find $1 million, and then you call the authorities to turn it I don't know.
Sound like a bad drug deal that went wrong and they got scared and turned it in. Alan, if you found $1 million in a bag, are you going to turn it into the proper authorities?
No, because there's a 99% chance that money is not legal anyway. So the person who lost it isn't going to go to the authorities and look for it. So why would I go to the authorities with it anyway? And if I give it to the authorities, they're not going to be like, yeah, man, nobody claimed this $1 million, so you can come get it in 90 days, fam. No. It's going to be right underneath my mattress.
Really? your whole background, everything will be. I'm like, Alan, is that gold? Is that a gold-plated door?
I would think somebody would be after me though. Like, I would just be nervous to keep.
Now that would be the thing as well. But and then, at that point, they would know if, like I said, I'm assuming this money isn't legal money, so they would know I'm a quote unquote civilian, so they wouldn't try to kill me. They'll just be like, "Yo, you got this money." I'll be like, "All right, I got 300,000 left. This other 700K, we're gonna have to work this off, bro. I don't know what you want from me."
This is all hypothetical, by the way, for the satire. This is, of course, we are law-abiding citizens, but this is, of course, satire.
I am.
We would do the right thing at Soapbox Studios.
The laws of the streets, they find us keepers.
At Soapbox Studios, right next to Tyler Perry's studios, that I would be opening immediately after I found that money. All right, so moral of the story as we wrap up, going around the horn, we do this every week. Appreciate y'all for staying with us as you listen to us. I think I'm gonna call this episode "Go with the Flow." Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, it's been a good episode. I liked it. Chop it up, chatting with everybody. Moral of the story. We're gonna start off with Alan. Let's start off with you. Moral of the story.
Man, the moral of the story this week is continue to drink your water, continue to wash your hands. A lot of these states are opening back up, and for whatever reason, we just decided that we were sick of the Rona, but the Rona's not sick of us. So please wash yourself.
Moral of the story, Lady of the North, just say, what's your moral of the story?
Y'all need to stop taking social media too seriously. People put out there what they want you to see. Not everything is true. Some things are. People express themselves differently, TJ, but just know that social media isn't everything. So you just gotta let some things go and stop arguing about positive stuff. Like, I just don't get that. Like, I get the negative stuff, but stop arguing about positivity.
So now, moral of the story just became mixtapes. All right. Moral of the story, Giovanni, what's your moral of the story?
My moral of the story is just love on people, while they're here on earth, because you just never know, like, when their time is going to be up.
Word. Ish, moral of the story.
My moral of the story is
please plug we call it your book, but please plug your collaboration book on the podcast, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so in June 27th, we're going to be doing a show actually on Zoom, since we have to social distance, or that's what we thought we would have had to do for the 27th. We're going to be doing a discussion on a book called Daddy, it has about 13 authors in it, and we share our stories about our relationships with our father and how we've healed as adults or not healed. We may still be working on healing right now. We discuss that, and we share the stories in the book, and we're going to have the editor, Kathy Garland, on when that show does happen. We have to still set a date. And we're just going to get to talk about how women feel in relationship to their fathers. We talked about Future. Now we're going to talk about the girls and how we felt with our dads and whether they were there, or if they were there, what influence they had over our lives and how we grew as women based on that. So yeah, tune in to that show on the 27th. Follow me at Ishna Waikil on Facebook and Instagram if you would like to, get more information, and just follow us too on the Soapbox Podcast. Same thing.
Moral of the story.
Okay. And my moral of the story is laugh a lot, love a lot, worry about yourself, because for humans, there's always something we can improve within ourselves, simply because none of us are perfect. So if anything, you always got some self-work to do. Be your most beautiful self. And go have some sex, y'all, because that'll make you laugh a little. I'm just kidding. Be safe. Yes.
Oh,
yeah. What does yes.
Lord,
I'm out of here.
Be safe. Yes. Be safe and go make love.
During a
funny.
pandemic. I struggle with this decision every day. There's unanswered calls. You try to get that itch, but I gotta wait. I'm waiting.
You talking about because of the coronavirus?
Yeah, like I don't want to.
I agree. Yeah.
It's not worth the risk. Like if I go out there and start, practicing to make little baby futures, then I don't want to catch nothing.
Well, you might as well stop forever. The coronavirus isn't going anywhere at all, and neither are the other viruses that are out here. So,
and I want all of our young listeners, for all my moral of the story is, you see what she said right there? Y'all be very wary of the girls. I be like, it don't matter. It's okay. It's whatever. No. Anyway, my moral of the story is this. It's okay to be a stepdaddy. But know what you're getting into. Set your terms early if that's what you want. Love on the children. Treat them as if they're your own, but always remember that they're not your own. Okay. And also, appreciate y'all. We're vastly approaching episode 50 or a year on the soapbox. So we appreciate y'all. We look forward to continuing the social justice series. Thank y'all for watching us on the stream and listening to us on Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, all the good stuff. I like this episode. I appreciate y'all chopping it up with us and listening and having these conversations. Had a little discourse, talked about a little bit of everything. All right. So for Giovanni, for Alan York, for Jesse, for Ishna Wakil, we are the Soapbox Podcast. Peace.